Right. Just taking my zinc pills for my baldness that might happen.
Whoa, mate.
I'm praying about going bald.
Yeah, it's because my hair's fucked, isn't it, bro? This podcast, I'm meant to listen to my troubles. I'm sweating like a pig. Welcome back to It's Just Genetic. It's genetic. Well, we're back with the podcast. I'm sweating balls. The studio's rather warm.
It is boiling.
How's your week been?
It's been really good, actually. I was in Morocco with my girlfriend's family, which was nice. Yeah, it was really cool. It's really cool.
What do you think of Morocco? Like, genuinely?
Yeah, I like it. It was kind of what I expected in a weird way. Like we went to the souk.
What is a souk?
It's like a little kind of town.
Oh,
like the old school town.
yeah.
Where they'd like
They have like
and the
mountains and shit.
I think the whole fun of it is you go and you barter.
Did you have a monkey?
No, I saw the monkeys and it made me really sad because like one had a nappy on and I was
That one climbed on my head.
apparently the way they get the monkeys is they put like alcohol on a banana, so they like knock the monkeys out to trap them and they put them in cages and bring them over. It's dark. So only the babies aren't clever enough to realize that
Yeah, like you could lure a lot of my friends in that way. Yeah, the gym rats. Yeah, banana. What the gym?
yeah
Yeah, it's
potassium.
that is cool though, isn't it? It's great fun.
Yeah. And then there's the cobras, which are shit scary.
Okay.
Horrible. There's literally got like king cobras.
Oh yeah. Just seeing the little
Well,
bowls.
they like the little flukes, and they're going like,
What do you like, Tony? No, let's do that. Awesome.
yeah.
I just came from Back to the Future afternoon tea. It was really good. It was at the Sound Cafe in Marble Arch, which is in the Cumberland Hotel. It's not really an afternoon tea because you get banging passion fruits. You get a choice of different teas, and then it's this. I get why it's called a tea because they've got this sort of 3-tiered thing with hot dogs, burgers, tri-plater. And then you've got on top of that was macaroni cheese, sandwiches and shit. It was really good. And the DeLorean was there.
Hey, I had mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's good.
Amazing.
Yeah. So anything else happened this week off notes?
Oh my God, I discovered my love for paddle.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm going to be a professional paddle player. I think that's my calling.
I think paddles is anyone's game. It's new.
Yeah, it's wild as well. Like the rules are crazy. We were just rearranging the plants in this room.
Foliage.
We had a rule because we had this paddle court in this place we were like hiring out. It was sick. But there was like it was like submersed in kind of like trees and foliage. So every time someone hit a ball and it bounced off the back wall and went into like the foliage and then someone's shot, we were just shouting foliage. The amount of times we said foliage.
Paddle's great. It's you don't have to be good. Well, I don't think anyone's good.
I don't know. When you watch YouTube videos, you're like, these guys have seen.
When did they start playing? Because I swear it's only a year old.
It feels like some random ass new sport, but I think I don't know how long it's been around, but I've seen people playing it, like knocking it about.
We've got we work with a company called Padium, which is actually just there. We're in Canary Wharf right now. What Canary Wharf? And they've got the place called Padium, which is sick.
Cool.
ASMR, son.
Canary Wharf.
Canary Wharf. Cool. Philip. And Philip. Hello, Canary Wharf. Would you like some coffee? So it's down the road. Actually, more importantly, it's great. It's amazing. It's got indoor outdoor course. More importantly, I had a throat operation this week.
Oh yeah,
Sean. So for all
it's been the most ongoing problem for years. Everyone who knows Ollie goes, "Is his voice okay?" Whenever they talk about you.
It started like 10 years ago when I was teaching kids how to program.
Yes. Teaching the future
generation to be amazing. And I don't know where I got it from, but I'd wake up in the morning and sometimes literally be like, I couldn't talk and I'd have to like cough it out like I did last week. Anyway, the NHS I'm not going to insult them, but they just put me through various antibiotics, and I was like, oh, okay, this works. And then they were like, oh, but to do this, you need to come in 3 times a week and get blood tests. And obviously, as a busy human being, you're like, I'm not going to do that. So I did it the first 2 times, and then, given the fact it was fine, thought it was okay. Anyway, it came back again. Every time I get ill, it comes back. So this time, the doctor, he transferred me to this awesome doctor over near me, Hammersmith, and he literally was like, okay, what we're going to try is we're going to try and shine a laser down there and try and just kill off the bacteria, because it's clearly a colony. It clearly comes back. And I was like, will it work? He went. And then we had it, and it's like, it's not pleasant. They literally, you can smell the burning, and as you're having it done, so you're like, anyway, this time I was like, it feels good. Oh, it's like, it sounds straight, it sounds powerful. Yeah. And he was like, he looked surprised. He was like,
you're going to join me in my career.
Yeah.
You're going to be a singer.
So if you're looking for
if you're looking for a wedding singer, this guy's your...
No, that's not your career. If you're looking for an action star, are you sick of The Rock being on your screen all the fucking time? Well, replace him with me.
Yeah, and that's it.
I'm just as big. The Rock.
The Rock.
I'm done with him being on our screens. I love you, The Rock, Dwayne, if you're watching, which you clearly are. I love you, but you just play yourself. That's all you do.
I mean, you're coming for one of the biggest stars in the world. It's a dangerous game. I fear for you.
I do love him, though.
Dwayne sees this.
Okay, moving on to topics. So, yeah, sorry, Dwayne. So, something I wanted to discuss, which we were talking about, is breakups and how there's a piece. So, let's go to breakup. The only breakup I've had.
Do you notice you sometimes you go into your presentational voice?
Yeah.
You're like, so something I want to discuss. Breakups. I was like, what? Why am I today? Why am I on it? Justin Robinson?
You are on the weeks. But no. So we were talking about breakups, right? And how at the time it feels world-ending. And
yeah.
I could never be without her. And then I remember reading on Reddit, because I was like, she lived in another country, so I had to accept there was nothing I could do. I'd go on Reddit, so many comments. I'd literally Google, how do you get over a breakup? Yeah. And people were like, you're not going to want to hear this, but it's just time. And I'd read it and be like, fuck off. Leave me alone. I don't have the time. I'm a busy man. Yeah. And it was more just like, I don't want to feel like this.
Yeah.
And then you notice day by day.
When was a specific one? Was this them?
This is, I'm going to say her name. My only long-term relationship. And yeah, it was pretty shit.
That was helped you up.
That will fuck me out. Fuck you up. She didn't end it in the nicest way. It wasn't really ended.
I mean, God, this is a whole story.
Yeah, I don't think I
don't want to. Yeah, let's not call up too much, but
because I mean, I played equal part in certain areas.
I can't imagine you're a bad boy, but in the slightest.
I learned a lot from it, but at the time, it feels awful.
Yeah,
and I think it's the same with a lot of anything. When you start seeing a girl, the feelings form quite quickly, and you're like, she's the one. She's the one.
By the way, side note, ladies, he is single, and I'm not going to lie, the morals in this boy are absolutely sky high. I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it actually intimidates.
Why do you think my morals are so high?
I just don't really think, I really don't think you like hurting people in any way ever. Like, you don't like rocking the boat outside of business. I mean, you've got better inside business, but I think
it's taken its time.
Yeah. But I've never seen you. You know, you've never strayed from your kind of your I guess your principles, which is really impressive, particularly in somewhere like London.
Yeah, I think London's. I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is, I guess this is why the breakup had such an impact. I felt so devastated by that and just fucked up mentally, and I just think I don't want to do that to someone.
Yeah,
and I think how it's affecting me now is that when I start even just seeing someone slightly, my mind goes fast forwarding to the relationship, and I'm like, oh, do I see this and do I see it being long term? And I don't want to upset, so I'll sort of cut things off before it even
Right, yeah.
can.
So it can fuck. So
But on your flip side, I think you.
I've self-sabotaged quite a lot in the past, I think, due to all sorts of issues. I suppose it stems from like abandonment issues and like with early family. You know, it's tough because, and it's, by the way, it's not like I'm morally off the rails, but I think it's more just like I would self-sabotage any relationship I'm in because I'm like, I don't know where I don't think I can't actually break it down.
No, so this is why this week's book is The Mountain Is You. Going through all the self-sabotage. And I think what you do is you have been beaten down quite a lot in life, quite a lot, and credit to you, you fight through every time, but you've been beaten down. And I think this is how I perceive it. You have a vision of your, the way you look at yourself is, I don't deserve these things.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you sabotage so you can tell yourself, see, I'm not.
It's weird. I do get a massive shock when good things happen.
Yeah. There we go.
Which I've started to realize recently. Like whenever any good news comes in, I'm like, oh God, that how on earth do I
this podcast? I said I've had, thank you all many listeners, but genuinely lots of people have been messaging going, I was laughing a lot, having a good time, really relate to that. And I messaged you saying that, and your first response was, really?
Yes.
So you never quite believe, and I think that's something.
I just don't feel. I feel like I've come to the conclusion that I don't feel like people listen, but evidently they do. And you know, some of the comments we've got after the last podcast and the last clips, were really quite like lovely, just to see, you know, that people genuinely take time out of their day to listen to. Just
one thing, chat. I've got a lot of friends who I'm quite lucky to be able to say I have. Probably between 10 to 15 friends who I truly value it. I know they value me. And I know a lot of them struggle with similar, not mental health, but they struggle to accept that they're great. Like you really struggle to understand that you're a good person. And it's so funny because people, all your mates are like, he's such a nice guy. Like, highly of you. And I think you sometimes will make a mistake or do something which you know you shouldn't do. And it's like, oh, I'm not that good of it.
Yeah.
But it's like you're fighting against yourself to prove to yourself that you're not, because of what's happened in childhood, maybe making you think. Now, as I'm an overanalyzer, I could be way off, but I think I'm probably in a good position to say that about you because I know you. And I think one thing I saw Juan, I'm saying that right? Juan? I always get it wrong. Juan. He's an amazing dude, right? We love him.
Juan Forgia,
like the guy's a Cali ex-based.
He's also a Nike, and Nike trainer.
He's
first ever Nike trainer. No, he's the first ever calisthenics. He's the first ever Nike trainer.
Tiger Wood, though. No,
he's the first ever Nike calisthenics trainer, which is for those of you who don't know what calisthenics is, it's like body weights working out. So like pull-ups, but with the extreme.
It's the most impressive form of fitness, I feel, because the things people do, you're like,
and the real like, if you want to see real strength, that is real.
And he's a beast, but he's also the nicest, humblest guy. Teaches so well.
It takes so much patience, and I think Cali's quite a difficult thing to sell because it does take a lot of consistency, and you can't, like, falling off that wagon. You know, you'll be doing 3 muscle ups 1 week, and you do take 2 weeks off, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't do any, and it's just like. But when you that sense of satisfaction when you get some of those moves, like some of the crazy, like even just I did a handstand the other day for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I've got a video of it.
Yeah, got a video somewhere.
There. I think everyone pointed it together.
There. And it was gnarly, and I just remember being like, what have I just done? And I was just like, and it was just a bit of consistency. It didn't even take that long, to be honest, but yeah.
The reason I mentioned Juan is because I saw it leads into what we're talking about. He posted something saying self-belief. Hang on, I'll look into the camera. Self-belief is a full-time job. And I think a lot of people look at things like that, or the situation I just explained. They're like, well, I don't believe in myself all the time. And it made me realize it's so true, because everyone looks at each other. Oh, look, he started. People probably look at, wow, look at the events he's doing. The amount of constantly times I'm going, I just don't think I can do this.
Well, it's always interesting, isn't it, with self-belief? Like, self-belief is one of those things that you can practice, but the way you practice it is you do the skill, you commit to something, and you practice it, and that in turn instills self-belief. So, for example,
you build a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are.
That is a brilliant
Alex Hormozy. I didn't make that.
Alex Hormozy.
But why do you struggle to do it? You've got such a good understanding of it.
I think a lot of it is to do with like partying culture in London, and like I'll go out and like go get drunk or something, or drink, or drink responsibly.
Yeah.
But I'll have a big night, and I'll put myself out of action for two days or like a day or so, and it gets, obviously now I'm 32. It's just...
I'm glad you said that, because this is what this podcast is all about. It's about us discussing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Jade earlier. Jade's one of my besties. She's also my flatmate, so we talk about a lot together. And we were talking about how when you have these big nights, I'm not talking about going out and having a few drinks. I'm talking about, the benders, the ones with fired up. And I feel it's like an auto reset to your progress, no matter what you're doing. It sets it back to zero, which is why. But it's also so attractive when you're not finding traction. It's like, oh, fuck it, let's do this.
When you're waiting around with no purpose.
Yeah.
A purpose, it's like a negative purpose will find you.
Yeah. So, and that's, I think a lot of people will probably, living in London, will probably understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
When you don't have, and it is when you don't have purpose, when you're going after stuff, you might slip into it here and there, but you're a lot easier the bounce back's easier.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I'm sober, because that bouncing back, I hated it. I love just being, and that's why I'm trying to push you to join me.
I agree. I actually read a quote the other day that helped with this.
I might have moved it down.
The first assumption and the first problem we make when we say that, and the reason why I end up resenting myself and hating myself, is because obviously, first of all, you're depleted from all the like partying, and then added to that, you just get a sense of shame with like whatever you said or did, or whatever. You get this sense of shame, and then it just goes like, you kind of just go, well, that's what I'm worth now. When actually that's such a small window of feeling like that you shouldn't take that as like it's derailed me for a week, so it's sent me right back. But
do you think you do though?
What do you mean?
Like because it feels like when you're in those shame moments, you're like, this is me.
Yeah. I just go like, I equate my self-worth to that moment.
Yeah, which is hard for me, because I'm like, fuck man, you're like ridiculously talented, you don't need to be doing it.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's a weird one, because it's like you end up feeling kind of in this echo chamber of your own misery. And quote from Nelson Mandela, resentment is like drinking poison and hoping it will kill your enemies. Nelson Mandela. And I think that you would say resides. Yeah, but you become resentful towards yourself
and others.
Yeah, and expecting that that's going to suddenly make you turn around and be better and be happier and blah, 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 but it actually just perpetuates itself, and you can get stuck in quite a hole with that. And I think that's what kind of can stunt progress. And you can also start labeling yourself with those feelings where you're like, oh, I've set myself back a week. That's a really negative thing to say. Because it's not the case. And
just to intervene there, when I was having massive nights last year, I would sometimes have 3 days where I just felt like, almost I'd do nothing. I was useless. And in that time, as you say, I'd be like, this is reset, so much work. But it would then get up, head to a class, smash it, come out of that class, headspace is changed, you realise the progress has not been stunted. Fine. It's just you had no willpower.
Yeah, but it doesn't even need that level of attack. Like, it's just little things that you can chip away at in the day to make yourself feel like, you haven't just fallen down the stairs. You're just, you might have taken a step back, or you might have stayed on the same step, but you have the ability then to just chip away and slowly step up again.
Chip away is so true, because I think we all do this. We'll go, when you're having a bad period, you sort of think of it as, this is going to be so hard to claw my way out of, but it's little things like, right, okay, I'll do 5 minutes of, say, in my case, 5 minutes of a breathing session on YouTube. You end up doing 20 because you get into it and you keep going. Then it's looking at everything that looks massive and going, I'll do that for a minute. And you normally do it for way more. And you realize that chipping away turns into, now doing this every day. And someone was, I can't remember where I read this, but it was saying, everyone keeps looking at changing habits as this thing where it's like, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to start doing this. And I referenced this last 3 months, last week. I think the best way, and these guys agree, it was, you've got 3 months. Look at it as chipping away, as you say. If you want to start doing ice baths every day, start with once a week, because you'll probably do it twice, maybe 3 times. Breathing, you want to do it every day, cool. Start with like 2 minutes.
It's just not putting pressure on yourself.
Yeah, and it's like
being like performing at some sort of elite level when that's not how you've lived your life. You know, you can build those elite habits over time.
Just give yourself the time.
Atomic Habits. That book.
So you have to give yourself the time, and that's why I think these 3 months, 2 months now, that are left, they're so good for doing.
2 months left of the year.
Yeah.
And seasonal sweets are going to go from Halloween to Christmas literally in a week.
Wait for it. Don't jump into seasonal sweets yet. So this also on that point of resentment, this book I've been reading called The Mountain Is You, awesome, right? So she points out all the self-sabotage that you can do.
By?
No, but I'll send it to. And she goes, one of the things as self-sabotagers do, or one of the self-sabotagings, is you look at, or you do it all the time when we're in a bitter place. You'll see someone smashing it on Instagram and you're like, oh, well, no, they got it because of that. And you will basically attribute success or other people doing well to some sort of reason, not the fact that they probably grafted their tits off.
Yeah.
And are not happy for them. And I find and what happens is you build in this, as you said last week, this habit of resenting things. And I find when I'm in a bad mood, I do. And then when you start achieving things, because you've built in a habit of resenting and you then start to think everyone will have that same opinion.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what factors into what you said when you kind of have people weren't like this. And it's like, why wouldn't they? Like happy, content people.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I was saying habits is the most poignant thing you said there. I think with
Poignant.
You go out partying, it's more than once a week maybe, and it starts creeping into like 2 times a week. It kind of becomes it's I mean, you've been amazing, but they build up, and then they add to those habits of self-resentment, and so all of it is just negative cycle. And I think limiting yourself maybe to if it's realistic for you, 1 time a week you go out, you enjoy yourself, you don't have to get the problem with me is I'm all or nothing.
Yeah,
it's like if I go out, I'm like, I'm going out, so I have to do everything in the world and go crazy.
That's because you believe you're all or nothing. I've realised, because I used to be the same. And this is, when I say I used to, it's not like I'm some fucking newborn found again.
No, but you've built up good habits.
Yeah, but I've got it on my phone, Streaks app, and that's another way to track Streaks.
Yeah.
98
big up Streaks.
Big up Streaks, a teen year. 79 days no booze, 92 days no bad stuff. So
no.
Yes.
No seasonal snow.
Seasonal snow. But that's, at the start, it's really hard because you're like, I'm so used to having, but then you find these habits to break each cycle. So, for example, Lucky Strike. In fact, I'm not going to name a particular brand because all the beers, the non-alcoholic beers, are brilliant because they taste the same. Corona's new one, amazing. Prime Time coming soon. They work because they taste the same, and it's the habit of drinking. So that breaks the alcohol bit, which then breaks you jumping onto any naughty stuff later because you're not drunk.
Yeah.
And I believe with you, that's all you need to do is sever the alcohol for the rest of the year.
Yeah, agreed. I'm absolutely going to do that. But I think, it's, for me, it's it's going to be like all or nothing in this particular situation. Like it's cut everything all at once because if I drink, a glass of wine, or I drink a cocktail at Soho House or something, suddenly that cocktail becomes 2. You're surrounded by people who just want a good time.
It's never just one. And also, I think the other important habit is you've got to accept you have to do this. Anyone comes at me for this, I'll challenge you back. I think it's the strongest way to do it. You have to detox certain friends in your life. Like,
yeah,
for me, they will understand ultimately if they're a good friend and they are doing these things, but
I'm not sure a friend will understand if you're detoxing from.
You're right. I phrased that wrong.
But if your friend goes, I've been detoxed.
No, excuse me, you are now on the detox list. Fact.
You're on the detox.
No, but it's like I just say, listen, I can't come out with you in evenings because, and I don't say it's about them. Just be like, I don't trust myself not to do these things when I'm out with you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And if they get offended for whatever, like, who gives a fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I find a reason to like detox yourself from like get out of that environment for a little bit.
Don't do it for anyone else.
Yeah. If you can get out of the environment where you're doing all the negative things and you're spiraling, I found it's a real circuit breaker. You know, even just going to Morocco, for example, like I had a week where it was just lovely. There was no vapes. There was no like stupid partying or anything. It was just a really lovely time with really lovely people. And
shout out to lovely people.
The lovely people. Yeah, and I come back and I'm like, you know, I don't need to crack on with a vape, the little battery that you put in your mouth.
Well, here's another thing. That's great. I completely agree. Environment's changing. If you don't go out boozing in London, which costs, let's be honest, 100, 200 quid at least at a time.
Yeah.
You save that money. You can go traveling around Europe. This year we've done Scotland. Vienna. I've done Rimini, Italy. I've done America. And yes, I did them on the cheap, but that was the money that would have gone on booze.
Yeah, but doing things on the cheap like makes you discover the best things. You know, when I find the most expensive stuff, a lot of the time is not always the best. Like I went to Naples, for example, and you know, you're going to these pizza restaurants, and there's just like little tiny pizza shacks that you end up spending €7-8 for a pizza, and it's the best thing you'll ever eat. And also just being frugal can actually lead you to your best discoveries. Like particularly with restaurants in London as well. You know, the often the cheaper pizza places, for example,
I've not seen. Now my business, we work with, you know, this is going presenter mode, but my business, we work with venues like competitive socializing, restaurants, bars. I have seen no correlation between the price of food and the quality. Yes, with the restaurants is this case, but normally with most places there isn't a correlation. How much effort they put into the experience is the key thing.
Yeah, well, it's I found one of the best things I ever did, particularly in my third year of drama school. I would go out and I would just like go find, you know, a cheap ass restaurant. I'll go to. In fact, it was when I left drama school, and I got back from my first job and had a bit of money.
Yeah.
And after every audition, the way I'd forget about it and the thing I'd be excited about, so I could just literally rid it from my mind, so I wouldn't be like so tense about the outcome, is I'd go down the timeout list of burger places, and you just find some of the most. It was so good, and I'd go from, and then they were never that crazy expensive.
Oh, geez. Time.
It's still good though.
No,
still good.
Pink Culture.
A lot of my suggestions for restaurants that I got initially. Sorry, Pink Culture.
No, you were the man. I knew everything.
But I'd go to like, you know, I'd be looking through GQ magazine, and there was an article about Motu Indian Kitchen, and they were like, "It's the best Indian takeaway." I was like, whatever. And then we ordered it. And
shut up, GQ. Shut up.
And I was like, oh my God, it was like, shout out to Motu Indian Kitchen. If you have a Motu Indian Kitchen on your Deliveroo, it's only on Deliveroo. It like, I cannot tell you how much you have to get it. Otherwise, you're a fool. It is the best thing in the world. It is so unbelievable. It is so good. And GQ was right.
Fair. No, that's great. I was just looking for that. Because we'll get back to all of the latest. Something I was going to move the conversation onto is another epiphany I had this week, right? And that is how much energy I have wasted, or it's a lesson, but wasted over the past few years in trying to pretend everything's okay with business. Because LinkedIn is, again, social media. Everyone on LinkedIn is smashing it all the time.
Like, multi-billion pounds.
Like, yeah, it's like, I'm proud to announce I've got a new job. It's the weirdest place ever. Now everything's ChatGPT generated apart from like a couple of people. And you see everyone's smashing it all the time. So you either lie and you're like, things are going really well.
Yeah.
Or I just didn't post until now. I've just posted what I want to post. And I realized there was so many conversations and wasted time thinking about, I need to portray that we're doing well. And I think that took away so much energy from
It's just another form of social media though, LinkedIn, isn't it? Really, it's come to that point where, like, I don't know much about LinkedIn. You tell me about it all the time, but
that's a lie. It's very infrequent.
I've come to the conclusion that LinkedIn is like
Anderson Cox on LinkedIn. Should subscribe for it.
I came to the conclusion that LinkedIn is like basically just like an Instagram of business, where you just brag about your accolades and things, and you just go like, my life is amazing, and so it's literally just an extension of that social media world.
It's the fact that there are now loads of AI integrations where it will auto comment for you, it will auto like, and I'm like, that is ridiculous. Like the fact that, and the comments you can see, they're like, someone did the other day, they posted like 20 people had the same comment, and you're like, you're all using it. And I think that really defeats the objective of LinkedIn.
It's like some shit form of a singularity on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I started posting memes that are related to me struggling in business, and suddenly people are like, oh, I do commenting. But anyway, the main point of that was the energy and stress I put myself under in trying to portray that everything is right. In a startup, it's fucking hard. It's really, really hard.
Look, in any walk of life, you need to understand that asking for help is not weak. You know, whether that be alcoholism, drugs, whether it be, you know, even social media addictions or like anything, and business as well. And like asking for help is not a weakness, and it shouldn't be seen as like, if you do that you have a chink in your armor or your business.
Well, that's it. My ego would make me think, because everyone's doing so well.
Yeah, because your opinion becomes less valuable.
Yeah.
If you suddenly start listening to and seeing everyone else's like grand opinions, you start devaluing your own, because you think like, oh, can't be possible for me to attain that like ascended level of bullshit that they claim to have. You know, and you know, respect the people who are doing well, great. But at the same time, like it's that standard quote: if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't put value on the way your opinion on your business or your opinion on yourself, then every other opinion is going to throw you wildly off your track.
True. And the people who I see stand out from that, the two lads who run Thursday Dating, George is somewhat of a LinkedIn celebrity, but they're just legend. I met them when I first started Pin Culture. Pin Culture.
We lived in Vauxhall.
When we lived there, and it turns out Matt lived in our building.
Yeah. That was mad.
Those two they built this awesome business to start with called Thursday Dating, and it went really well. They smashed it. They could build this amazing community, and I actually based community building off what they did. And then it went a bit quiet because I think it fizzled out, and they just behind the scenes grafted and built. They're now worldwide in like probably more than 50 cities.
Yeah.
And never once do I see a sort of boastful post.
Yeah.
It's very much he's either taking a piss out of himself, out of the piss out of his business partner, or valuable stuff. And he's like, I'm just thinking credit.
I think on the flip side, which we were touching on a minute ago, is really interesting. Like when you're talking about the way people's opinions affect how you conduct yourself. Like you became a bit of a victim of it quite heavily. Well, you know, when you moved into London properly, when you were like, I need to live in either Battersea or I need to live in Vauxhall in a high-rise building in like these fucking expensive flats.
No, I just like the flat.
Do you remember we were just like spaffing?
That was just because I like nice things, and I was like, I want to live here.
Yeah. But also, it was like I was kind of like, you do realize that there are other places and there are other.
But you were looking at shitholes, and I was looking at two butts. No, I was in the occasional middle.
Yeah. I agree with that, but I remember like
you were like.
I remember being like, I'm never going to financially recover from this.
His quote, this is amazing. He was like, there are places for like 600 quid. I was like, shut up. They're not. Now, 600 quid would get you a shoebox.
But living in Vauxhall, on the flip side, in that like high-rise apartment, which was like,
it was so
essentially a party.
It was so nice, yeah.
I literally was like, by the end, I'm like,
I've got nothing.
Yeah, and then do you remember when we did the getting back the deposit, and they were like, here's a smudge on the floor, that's £1,000, and we were like, what? And we ended up paying like £2,000.
It gets better. So we paid for a cleaner, a professional cleaning service to come in, and they fucking left stuff It
Yeah.
looked like one corner of the kitchen untouched.
Yeah.
And so we got fined for that. And I was like, so not only did we pay for cleaning, we paid for the fine for not cleaning.
It was bonkers.
Like,
And it was like the cost was gnarly. It was like $2,000 to the point where you were like, we're not paying that.
yeah,
And I was like, fair play. Like, absolutely not.
they were awful.
It's so extortionate. How are you business getting away with this bullshit?
You scum.
Yeah, you were scum.
It's like my mate was saying, I won't name who it was. Yeah, my mate lives in the White City building. They upped his rent by 1,500 quid. And I was like,
Where do they get these prices from?
Yeah.
And I was in how? I swear it's illegal. I don't even know. Like, surely you got like. I actually we were having a conversation in Morocco. We were having this discussion with Jamie and Sophie about their
where
they were looking for a place to rent or something,
right.
and Jamie was like, "Oh, well, they kept this one place we went to look at in I don't know, like Fulham, Parsons Green or something." He was like, they wanted something like £14,000 a month, which is like way over like 7% of the actual price of the flat or something. And he was like, £14,000 a month.
It's outrageous.
And like, yeah, well, then we came to the conclusion they probably saw him and went, this guy,
Yeah.
let's fuck him.
Yeah, unlucky. He's got. Yeah, that's the thing. It is muggy. I'm hearing everyone just being mugged off.
Bill selling to you sweets.
Yeah, he's got a few kittens. You look at those kittens.
Do you remember you said me earlier this week your fake candy kittens?
Oh yeah, I got some fake candy
shittens.
candy shitten. Candy shitten. Because Lidl and Aldi copy, and they make sure the packaging is almost the same.
Yeah.
They were like, I described them as, vapes. Oh yeah, taste like sweets. This tasted like a mango taste. It tasted like a mango vape.
Oh, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
what, a vape?
But which came first, the vape or the sweet?
Yeah.
We'll never know. It's just the colour.
They were vegan. They were, and I was like,
That brings us nicely on to seasonal sweets. All right. What have you got for me today, Oliver?
I've got something because I know
Lowry So Kai.
All right. So our first one's
Good.
Halloween mallow. Halloween mallow.
What the hell are those?
It's just, they're from Lidl.
So we've got a new scale. It's what is it? It's either
Brother. Yeah. So if it's a shit one, it's brother. Brother. What's that? What's that, brother? Brother. What's the other one?
so that
What's for? Oh, they smell good. Oh God,
just get one.
Oh,
Did you just bring one?
no.
You got two. Cool.
Yeah.
I got two as well. So I started
Okay.
with these are just what they called normally. They literally Sainsbury's have repurposed these sweets from and just put a little bit of sour sugar on the coating and called them Fruity Blood Bites. But they're like the strings of the
Yeah. I love those things.
Yeah, you love those. Well, so you could try one of those.
Yeah. I fucking love these.
And then my second purchase
Fruity blood.
is the classic
Blood.
Reese's Pumpkins.
Reese's Pumpkins and Fruity Blood Bites. Fruity Blood Bites.
I already know how these taste because it's just Reese's but in a pumpkin shape, but I'm going to have one because I love it.
That's what she said. Oh, God. The toxic bacteria. They're not very nice.
They're not.
That
Have they shot their own product to the foot?
that is a brother. Ugh.
Is it all the way on, brother?
That is a brother. Ugh. It's a brother.
One of those. Know what it tastes like, bro. Peanut butter, protein. Do you reckon there's any peanut butter in Reese's peanut butter cups?
Nor is there any chocolate.
What is it?
Yeah.
What are we eating? What is it, Reese's?
That's
That's phenomenal.
I'll superimpose the sound.
I don't care if it's not peanut butter. I don't care if it's
No, it's delicious. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. That was so direct. You're like Dave Portnoy.
Now,
Have you done Dave Portnoy?
who's that?
Barstool. He like basically started with Barstool Sports, but then I think he sold it. But I don't know what happened. Anyway, he got mega rich off that, and then he just basically decided to do a pizza rating scale, and it goes round to every pizza place and goes, "That's an 8.2. That's an 8.2." But like so so like confidently that you're like, so there'll only be an 8.2.
Genuinely, this is where I realised. So the scale for the blood, it's the bloody money. Storming your rating is.
That tastes like a toilet biscuit.
It's a brother. Ooh,
That's a brother. That's a real
yeah.
Sainsbury's. I'm so sorry, you fucked it.
Now, so that's what I also realised. I think I've discovered that obviously money doesn't bring the true happiness that you think. It obviously makes situations better. Let's not lie. People say money doesn't make life. But I look at people who do things like that, rating pizzas, just having fun in life. I'm like, that brings me
and
most
discoveries you make. And, you know, now that pizza rating thing is one of the biggest things. Like, literally, pizza restaurants, when he comes, they're like, they have like they jizz. And they're like, this is...
they literally just go, they jizz.
So jizz. They do. They're like, oh my God, it's Dave Portnoy. Then they name pizzas after him.
And then they jizz.
But he literally like rocks up. Like, he's going, 1 bite rule. That's all it takes. He goes, no, that's a 7.8. And then like, it's just, I can't believe someone's so confident.
This is why they're this.
It's like you did with those Reese's.
Well, you just summed up why we started this podcast. That's why. It's because this is this is so much fun, just hanging out with my brother, rating sweets, chatting shit, and actually trying to be intelligent, are they?
These are horrible. I don't want to eat more, but I'm making a mess of a note.
So the rating 4, we got it, so I can use it for social.
That's like a 2, but I don't like marshmallow that much, so.
Halloween mallow cakes. Okay, Dom, this is every sweet. You need to look into the camera and you know that guy's like, hello. Halloween mallow cakes.
Halloween the Gadget Show.
No, it's the Halloween. You do those voice. I'll do the guy who's oh God, I can't remember. He was on something the other day. I'll send him to you.
We're wasting time. Let's crack on those saurines. Oh my God, they're not even called saurines. They're called screams.
That's bad.
That's
dreadful.
That's a 2.
Dom and I were brought up on saurine. This is screams.
Oh, and literally like at drama school, because I was saving money. Like at lunchtime, I'd buy like a little pack of like chicken breast, which is now like £800. Like a little bag of chicken breast, a bag of almonds for like the next 2 days, and then a malt loaf. Yeah. And I'd just eat a malt loaf in the day, and that would be like my
unbelievable.
My lunch.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So screams, soaring. So
I'm already skeptical about cherry.
Yeah, I got cherry because I'm skeptical.
Toffee apple will be good, I reckon. I think it goes with the red apple. Yeah, I think.
Okay, fair play. Toffee apple, sorry. Toffee apple, sorbet.
Sorbet, scream.
I can try them both.
96 calories.
Look at that.
I mean, it will go with the bready texture. Like the bready texture with toffee apple should work. It just tastes like a saurine. I don't see any toffee apple about that, but it is good.
No, there's a subtlety.
I feel sustained when I eat this. I feel like my body is benefiting. Yeah.
You can taste the toffee.
Oh my God. This is educational.
That is I reckon it's 6.
Yeah, I was going to say 6. Maybe 6.3 at a push.
All right, now the cherry one.
What was that? It's just phonetics. Can I judge one? I think back in Doddles. But Hoddles. That was all right.
Stick to your day job, you'd be addicted.
Yeah,
you're a fucking idiot. Me, you're a... Me, you're an idiot. Me, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
Big up Scotland.
I love. So I randomly just break into Scottish accent.
Me and my friend Dean do that all the time. Right? We basically, because we did a stint at Edinburgh Festival doing Cruel Intentions musical.
It's good.
That tastes like a vape as well. Why does everything taste like a vape? Yeah, I give that that's like a 4.47.
Cherry Saurine, 4.7.
I don't even know if it's too much or like it's just a mess. This is a mess.
Yeah.
Script. 1 out of 2 is fine. You know,
In the bin.
It's good. Straight in my basket.
That's great in my basket. Right. On to the next.
I think we were going to talk about.
Is uni a scam?
Yeah, we're literally going to say the same thing.
Because we both put on our notes. So
Is uni a scam?
because I saw the other day that you know that guy who goes around unis in America and just sits there. And it's normally like quite.
I don't know this guy.
Basically, there's a dude. I think he's in Trump's party or something. But yeah, guy goes around, super smart, and he just sits with the marquee, getting challenged by uni students who are normally the topics are on race, gender identities, and things like this. And he just annihilates them. That annihilates. One guy's like, "So what's your view on university being a scam?" And he's like, "What do you study?" He's like, "Economics." He's like, "Do you know this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've heard of him." I'm like, "Do they teach him?" He's like, "No." "Have you heard of this guy?" And he lists like 12 clearly big economic people. That's my level of knowledge. And the guy's like, "No." And he goes, "Exactly. So you're being you're this an indoctrination." And it kind of made me go, you know what? Although he's being a bit of an idiot in the sense of approaching that, the amount of outdated shit you are taught at uni.
Yeah. We're sort of like school. A lot of the mathematics and things we're taught is all based.
I don't know actually.
Well, it's all based on like teachings from the Industrial Revolution when that stuff was like far more relevant. You know, so building big buildings. It's like creating factories and blah blah blah. To make our seasonal sweets. So saurine probably comes out of one of those factories.
Yeah.
Not
the best selection of sweet. I preferred last week's. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah.
Our skeletons were an absolute hit.
Yeah.
And nerd clusters. They won't even
Yeah, they were.
cut straight.
They were. Early Christmas seasonal time as well.
I think it's good to. I think it's like for me, it's good to mention because drama school's like quite a mystified thing at the moment. Like whether it's worth going because it's so expensive. You know, it's arguably for the elite now, which is a real shame.
Why?
Well, the Tories cut so much art funding that like you can. Yeah, which is a shame. But you know, arts in their mind is the first thing that's and that's why I really love Starmer's approach on it at the moment. I don't want to get too political, but Starmer is starting to talk about the importance of arts and imagination and creativity.
Fun.
No, I think with education, I need to demystify the thing for drama school. I think whether it's worth it, I think. From a standpoint of like going to some of the arts ed, I came out like military honed, perhaps not my most imaginatively creative, like thinking outside the box, but I had a very structured way of approaching things, which I think was very important, like discipline, being on time.
Yeah.
These are life skills I got, and it's things I learned through practice and through like constant repetition. And I did think, it was a good place to learn how to learn and to build up that discipline. On the flip side,
just before you get to the flip side, for me, I think it was the opposite.
Yeah,
I was at Sussex Uni. I did computer science, and I was in Out of my light. Take the whole thing. He's eating again during our podcast. So, and I was in computer science, and everyone there, it felt like to me, was an utter genius, and I felt thick as pig shit. So I just started skipping lectures because I was like, I don't know how to do this. The lecturers, I would go to them almost on my hands and knees being like, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom like compilers. I was feeling really good.
I went to them on my hands and knees.
That's a bit stupid. So, no, but but no, so I went, that was a bit of a weird phrase to use. I went to him and I was like, dude, I genuinely, I opened this book and it may as well be Chinese. Like, I don't get it. And he was like, and I just could not understand it. So I started going on YouTube and I was like, found this guy who broke things down to apples and pears, started to understand it.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until my third year where I got a lecturer who actually gave a fuck about what I was saying. And he went, listen, pick the easiest projects on this list for the final year projects. And there were things on there like build a VR game.
But it's so important to realise that actually a good teacher can change your life. And no, I was talking to.
I got the top grade out of all the nerds. I got the top grade in the final biggest bit of the year.
Yeah,
and the project was a meal planning thing, and I just made it look sexy and could explain it to them. and I got the top mark.
because you understood it, and
He pointed
that kind of that inspiration,
nerd.
so that inspiration from the right teachers,
Yeah.
the inspiration from the right teachers can implant a confidence in you that can sprout, incredible results. And I think, I remember being very fortunate, as I said, to have some incredible teachers. We had a ballet teacher who, his methods were a bit drastic at times, but like
I'd rather that.
I respected the I guess harshness. It wasn't harshness. It was like it was out of love.
Yeah.
Like he really cared about all of us, and he really would take all their time to break things down for you. And they were, I honestly, I couldn't recommend going to drama school enough if you want to be an actor.
So it feels like you're saying uni is worth it.
Yeah, I think on one hand, but I think on the other hand, I've seen a lot of very incredible actors, and a lot of really, really talented singers, etc., musical theatre people, whatnot, having not done that kind of route, and having just had the tenacity to just do it. I respect it so much, but for me, I needed a structure. Otherwise, I was just going to just take punch.
I think that kind of boils down to it being like anything in life. So for me, if I look at university, and I used to have the opinion, because all my opinions came from either my dad's or the internet, and I used to have the opinion that university is needed if you want to get into X, Y, Z. And I still believe if you want to get into finance, you obviously need, I don't know about this, but it's pretty clear that they want uni degrees. But I don't think you need it for many other professions. Computer science, you don't. And the reason I'm going to tell you why you don't need it for computer science, regardless of whether IBM and shit look for is, you can convince any hirer that you are the shit. And in computer science, I did exactly that. So I was working for a company after I broke up with my girlfriend, and I was desperate to get out to Cape Town. And I wanted to go and start my business in Cape Town. So this is Pinkfluence, right? And I came into this company and I took the only skill I had in computer science, AngularJS. Stop eating the fucking sweet.
That was a mistake. I don't even like them. They taste like toilet biscuits.
But I took that skill, right? And I built their new web app. And I'm different to the sort of typical computer scientists. They're your classic nerds. All of them super smart, a bit socially awkward, but all really nice, from my experience, really nice people. And I'm this sort of almost extroverted weirdo. So I came in and I built this web app, right? And then I asked them if I could work remote. This was before COVID times. They said no.
Yeah.
So I went looking for another job, got a recruiter on it, went up to somewhere in Cambridge. And given, if you're into programming and you have a personality, sounds savage, but if it's the truth, you can get way more jobs than someone who might be smarter than you with no personality just by being sociable. And I went into this interview and I was like, how you doing, guys? Lovely to meet you all. Had a personality. They offered me on the way home 20 grand pay rise as well, which I didn't ask for. And I said to them, no, because they were like 2 days in office. And I was like, no, it needs to be fully remote. The recruiter went back, 20 minutes later, bang, fine. You got to do 1 week in office and then fully remote. So I got this job, went back to my current job, told them, sorry, I'm leaving. They then turned around because the value I put into and shown my colours, they were like, okay, cool, you can work fully remote.
It's like bartering, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like playing poker with people.
So I kept both jobs, went to Cape Town, earned a fortune, had the best fucking time. And I
think that's a really good quote. People don't see the value of something until they lose it.
Yeah. And it's like, the reason I say that is trust, as we said earlier, self-belief is a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job, right? But if you can fight to keep that self-belief and know that you're fucking good at what you do, like you're so good at what you do, and keep that self-belief, no matter what, it will lead you to amazing things. If you can just get the skills, keep learning on them, and have that self-belief, you can do anything. And I think for most degrees, you can say, I can learn this all online.
Is there an equation for it, I suppose, like opportunity times work ethic?
No. It's
self-belief.
There's another one. It's opportunity plus something equal to luck.
Tenacity or something.
It's great. It's because it's the quote. It's really weird. The harder I work, the luckier I got. And it's like, well, yeah. opportunity plus preparation equals luck. And I think a lot of people have been indoctrinated by the system that you need to work your way up a ladder. It's like, no, you don't. You don't. You can go and do something you're passionate about. There's so many resources online that can help you educate yourself. Everything I've learned for Ping has been through people I've encountered or online. You can learn it all. Like, you don't need to go and do a university degree. If you're in finance, fine, do one. But I truly believe you can go and achieve so much just by the right network.
Yeah, but I think like I said, on the flip side of that, if you do get a good lecturer or a good teacher, like, they can change your life. And
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Is the cost worth the potential for that to happen?
Very true.
Because if it doesn't happen, you're taking a risk. But I do think, ultimately, educating yourself or being in a place that's fertile ground for you to become, for you to grow in what you're doing, or even just get the motivation towards that is important.
Well, yeah. Also, I don't tell I'd be who I was today if it wasn't for the uni environment. Like, the coolest people.
And you get absolute trash.
Learn about yourself. You get battered.
Piss fountain.
Piss fountain. We had a fountain. This is me.
Piss fountain.
Piss fountain.
I went to Piss fountain. I didn't go to a uni.
It was so. We'd all get on the bus from Sussex campus down to and where it stopped on the beach was a fountain.
Piss fountain.
And we would all, like 30, 40 lads, would just stand around and piss in it.
It was like a ritual. I found it so bizarre, and I was like, I'm not getting my todger out to that's because it was like communally pissed with a bunch of people in Brighton.
I'm not getting my todger out.
It was the weirdest thing, but you just did it, and you're like, oh, I feel a sudden sense of community.
It was great. Enough. I first thought, I don't want to get the todger.
Oh my god, that night was so funny. Do you remember when I was in Burger King with my crown on, shouting, "I am the Burger King"? Low point, but an absolute high point.
Yeah, good times. Now, 2 more life hacks. I've got a life hack. One is a new segment, life hacks. So we're going to do life hacks and London life hacks, just ram through them. This one is sick, right? So everyone's got a subscription to anything. Pornhub, like Notion.
How is that the first thing that came out of your... Everyone's got a subscription to everything, but you just reeled it off like it was matter of fact. Pornhub.
That's where a joke comes across badly.
No, that was... I mean, it was just very casually.
Yeah. Anyway, subscriptions, Notion, all these things.
What I find the joke is so important, by the way.
Yeah, and that's why I need to stop interrupting my jokes midway through. But anyway, go look at all your subscriptions, right? Go onto them, cancel them. It will normally go, oh, sorry to see you leave. Some of them are wankers, and it will be like, next screen, are you sure? And the next screen will be like, no. And then the next screen's like, tell us why.
Yeah.
It goes on. If you just put in the tell us why.
You almost get exhausted before you've even cancelled, and you're like, just stay.
Or Uber's the other day, the big black button is no thanks. So you go cancel, and then you go no thanks immediately. And it's like,
it's like having 2-factor verification to cancel something. You're like,
but if you
put in the password, cancel.
That's now executed bomb. So if you go in, click cancel, and then say it's too expensive, 90% of the time, they'll give you an offer for like either free or 90% discounts.
Life hack.
And it saves you a fortune. I've got like Adobe for 50% off, my stretching thing for... Next one. I asked Instagram this question. What goes? If you need an alibi, just tell people you're at the Woking Pizza Express.
Prince Andrew.
You dirty. And then someone else said,
you know what you
I know you watched this podcast. The next one was, if you, this is quite cool, if you act confident and walk with purpose, then every 5-star hotel lobby becomes your bathroom.
Nice. I live by that.
Have you got any life hacks?
Well, this actually comes off, I know it's controversial, but Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
I can't do as much.
Flop.
What is it?
Hello.
I can't do it. I can't do this. Yeah, this close to hello. No. Oh, hello. I'm 40 minutes from Canada. I'm from Canada. If the beats are...
It's so mad. It's so funny.
He's great.
But there's a rule in his book. I think it's the first rule for life. It's very, very like grand, calling the rules for life as if like they're the rules to live by. But it is good, and it's based on science. It's about like how the lobsters that are the biggest on the bottom of the ocean always end up being the ones that survive and have the best lives, and they claim the best territory, whatever. But it's roll your shoulders back, chin up is our granddad's motto for life.
Yeah.
Shoulders back, chin up, chest out. And it genuinely, not only does it help you breathe better because you have a more direct line through the esophagus, like there's actual scientific, that you feel better doing it. And also everyone receives you with a lot more credibility. Whereas, if you're like this, people feel sorry for you, or they kind of dismiss you and they write you off. And I think it's such an easy thing for anyone to do. Shoulders back, chest up, and walk confidently. Try it. Walk down the street for try it. Just implement it into your life and watch what happens.
And to add to that, put your AirPods in and put on a song that just makes you feel great in the gym. Do that, because that's one of my biggest tips. I walk like that. I feel fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And you just start to believe, hey, why would anyone look at me and judge me in this way?
Yeah, in a class, if I play a song in my class that really slaps, and they all slap. But if I play like an absolute banger, and it's something I've just discovered, and I'm really excited about it, and all of a sudden it drops, you can see the whole room suddenly gets a rush of endorphins or something. It's such a weird, you can see them literally go like and get excited.
It does, because I've seen so many classes where that happens.
Yeah, music therapy is a really good way to access, those confident feelings, sadness or whatever, and just therapize.
Next, some London life hacks.
London life hacks.
So, again, asked Instagram. You can get rid of over 50% of your stress by avoiding Oxford Street.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. Don't make eye contact.
Robots is in Oxford Street, and it's otherwise just in Fitzrovia, and it's fucking fantastic. Go to Robots.
Yeah. Don't make eye contact with crazy people on the tube or the bus. And toiletsforlondon.com will show you every public toilet in London.
Okay.
I'm not sure why you'd want to do a public toilet when I've just given you the tip. No, Reddit and Instagram.
Yeah. What's the London life hack? I know.
It's a good one.
So class is a London life hack. A class pass are constantly doing free trials, and then knocking off 50% on every 6 months or so, you get another free trial through ClassPass. You can use different email addresses, but don't Squarehead. Ollie was born with a large square-shaped head. To the point where, have you ever watched Roly Poly Oly? I don't know if some of you have. Roly Poly Oly. His shoulders still round. I don't know what the song anyway, whatever. But there was a one with a cube for a head, and I was convinced Ollie was in inspiration. Yeah. So we used to call it Squarehead and he used to rage. And if you ever want to, I've never seen someone. I don't think I've ever seen someone turn so red in my life as you when you went into a rage. When I was pulling your hair or something in a fight, and I just felt like your head pop or something, and I'd be like, oh my god, this is serious stuff.
Attach my skin,
and then I'd walk away and be like, okay, I've gone too far, and all of a sudden I see you go and you just charge, and I'd be like, it's the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced. I will never get that image out of my head of you just going.
Most of the time I was
like monkey straight.
I remember being like, I'd get really angry.
No, but I still wouldn't really want to go near. It was pretty terrible.
Interesting.
Times.
Good times. What else? Oh, so I used to be really obsessed with Anastasia.
Yeah, I remember that.
Baby, come
on. Not even Anastasia, just that one song.
Our baby, come on. And I was fried food.
Oh, that's really good.
It's kind of around Jordan Peterson. And I remember we'd go home from Granny and Granddad's house, and I'm looking blaring it out. No one had headphones at the time. You guys would just have to sit there as I'm like, now baby.
He was a jukebox. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Or Ollie didn't grow out of this until he was I don't even know. I would say, no, maybe teens.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm really sorry this is trauma, but
you used to just do this.
What's like a mad person? You just do that.
Yeah.
The whole car journey. And I'd be
I kind of accepted it as normal because you always did it. But as we got older, and I was like, that's weird. And then you look back and you go, what was wrong with you? What were you doing? You just did this.
So Mum told me, also, I'm going to call you out after this, but Mum,
Oh no, I've got a demo. Here's his words. You go into your room and you just go like this. No, it was about me doing that. No, got the heck of super. It was a. So I was when I was very young. I'm even getting shocked at it now. Yeah, I don't know what it was, and I have no idea. All right, but it's scary. I don't know where that came from, but I want to know.
It's amazing that women are into me because that's me. So you glow. Mum told me that in the womb, she'd get pain there because I was doing that movement. Like, what the fuck? So I think I don't know, something because you still do. No, that's not like an unconditional.
No, but you still do this.
No, it's this. I just sort of move a little. So I think it's called restless leg syndrome, but it's in this whole body. It's really upset me. No, I don't know. I've learned to live with it, but
even just talking about it now, I go like,
it's so weird.
Like I'm like,
it's so weird.
That was so odd. I didn't. I mean,
it shows you how it was. Yeah.
Yes, but now I'll do this because I like it's like some creepy thing where I like the smell of my finger or something.
So what? I don't know.
Someone else. It's so comfortable. It's so comfortable.
But that's what I mean. It's been ingrained into our DNA. And this is not rocking like a fucking weird creature.
I mean, I still to this day, I'm like that. Like, but we all just accepted it. Like we're all just like,
yeah,
that's just. Imagine like being in a friend's car. Like I don't even know where we were, but yeah, I bet you were like
Kate and Gavin. I remember being with Becky and just I'd be that. It's doing because I try and hold it because I knew it was weird. Like, and then
I didn't even think it was weird. I just remember being like, that's just
what weird thing to do. I've had sex as well. Like I managed to have sex, and I did that.
He's not a virgin.
I'm not a virgin.
Shock horror.
Like Ellie is single. And this is I tell you, I promise I don't do it anymore.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. Just to move on to
the number will be down below in the bio.
Last week, Dom mentioned how he hollowed out this book of condoms. Turns out, Mum helped him hollow it out. She told me that's how she found it.
How did I forget this little tidbit of information? So my mother helped me hollow out my condom book. She must not have known. I was probably like, I'm going to use it for a flask of whiskey.
So we, I mean, honestly, they must have laughed at us.
No, but I think I was like younger than 16. I think I was like 14, 15, thinking I was going to be like, this is it, I'm going to be one of those early top shaggers. But clearly, evidently, that did not happen.
Because Mum's quite opinionated, and she says, so she goes,
yeah, so you don't.
He literally slid down his wall. Then when this happened, saying he was so embarrassed that his mum had found them. I even helped him chisel out the pages of the book completely
whistle out.
I was going to tell him I found them, but he was being such. I don't know. I was going to tell him I found them, but he was being such a little shit. I was being such a little shit. It was very funny, but I had to keep a straight face.
That's amazing.
Big up, Mum.
Big up, Mum. That is a funny text.
Yeah, I know. So that was interesting. Now we're running out of embarrassing stories. If you've got any, we're fine. If you've got any embarrassing stories with your family, send them in. Yeah, and then final things, products. It's time to show some products off. I've been seeing a lot of protein-based products, and most of them are just fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But they have a taste like shit. And the cereals, most of them are awful. They're like, and I don't understand how people post things going, oh, it's so delicious. I'm like, no, with yogurt flavouring and all sorts, it's okay. However, Jade's got some surreal cereal, and I've seen them all over Instagram. Actually,
surreal, I see what it is.
Yeah,
in there.
Surreal. So it's got 14 grams of protein per serving. I remember people giving them backlash about price, but I think it's like a $5 because they're in. But it's nice. I don't think any cereals are ever going to taste as good as.
I can't be compared. Like cereal, I'm going all in on like the shit ones, like the ones that are so bad for your health.
That's the thing. That's what that's the problem is you're comparing them. But cereal genuinely tastes banging.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the other two flavors. I've been impressed by it.
I don't really eat breakfast. Well, it's one of the best meals.
I'll try them. I'll try them just.
And you can have those.
They're good.
You can finish that.
I'm actually okay. That's.
And then what else?
So I was being told the other day by my hairdresser. Well, it's not even my hairdresser. It's just I just go to another guy every time. It was like, oh, your hair's thinning on top and it's thinning on the temples. You've really got to watch out for that. And I literally was like, I've got nothing yet. And he said to me to get biotin and zinc.
Took me to biotin.
Yeah. I genuinely am freaking out about it. Like, I'm sure like hair transplant in Turkey, big up if it comes to it. But, I'm finding they are making my hair stronger. They are making it more like, well, this is hopefully this hairdresser when I go back. If I go, I'm not going back to him. He insulted me. He genuinely made me. But why would you be a hairdresser and tell your client like?
Well, I guess to let you know to take the.
Yeah, like, it's kind, but it was like I was like, you're a horrible person. You ruined my day.
I think anything around stuff that you can lose is quite hard to take.
Yeah,
I noticed thinning here, and I'm like,
oh, it freaks me out. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
So if you've got any recommendations for hair stuff that stops me from going bald, please comment below.
Yeah.
Big up my bald kings. Bald's cool. Bald makes you look manly. Like, what's he called? Jason Statham.
Go on, chat. Make it on. How good is that impression?
Bro, we could not have done a podcast without that.
What's that over there? That's a megalodon.
You really pulled that out of the
Filter on me as we do it. That was all right. No,
it's all right. I'm not quite at your level, but
my name's Jason Statham. Megalodon. All right. Well, we're going to be. I think that's everything.
Yeah,
that was a good podcast.
Yeah, and I have to big up Lawrence and Metabolic and Craig today, and mine as well. They're some of the best trainers in London, and they work out of Metabolic in Mornington Crescent, and they need all the kudos because they're fucking grafters and they're the best.
It is the best workout class, and I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
I've never had one better.
No,
Craig is my favourite trainer in the world.
I've had robots ones that come close.
Yeah, but there's a reason we go to those two. I think they're very good. Yeah. But we're also not saying that we're not having to try new things. I want to try. Oh, let me go head out of my camera view. I want to try as many gyms. So if you want to get us down to your gym, get it on the review list. Let us know. That's the end of.
It's just genetics.
All right, cool. That's good.
If you've got the time, my girlfriend has a YouTube channel called The Wonder Guys, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It dives into
it looks awesome.
The big up between like
big up hymns,
complete depravity and utter wealth in Las Vegas. There's one about immigration in Mexico. This stuff sounds very serious, but the way it's done is so brilliant, and she deserves all the kudos. And go watch it. The Wonder Guys on YouTube.
Thank you. And then finally, venue recommendations for your week. Pinkfluence means I get to work at some very cool venues, so I want to recommend some cool shit going on this week. One thing going on. Two, actually. First one, the Sound Cafe in Marble Arch. It's got today, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. It's in the venue. Look at this. Here's some clips. And then, duck. And then it's got Biff. Oh, Biff. It's got, going, Back to the Future, Marty. Marty, that was quite good. Marty, we're going Back to the Future, Marty. And their afternoon tea there has hot dogs, burgers in this really cool 3-plate thing with the maid. It's brilliant. Go check it out. And then secondly, Swingers. I am finally working with them. I've wanted to work with them since we Swingers in Kaiser, the best named venue in London. And they just launched their carnival style games. So it's awesome. And they launched in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, Swingers is amazing, and it's got like all the really cool events, like Peter Pilgrims and stuff in there, and some banging. I mean, it's so good, like it's so fun. Yeah, great night out.
It's a great date night.
Great date night.
Yeah. Any other recommendations for the week?
Lady, how to swing. Recommendations. Fatto Imano. In Fatto Imano. I think that's how you say it. Otherwise, it sounds like a right no, like Fatto Imano. Fatto Imano in where is it? It is literally on the Strand. I think it's on the Strand. I'm not sure.
It's near Trafalgar Square. Anyway, the pizza there is fucking obscene. Outside of Naples,
Really?
I mean, nowhere's as good as Naples, just because of the fresh ingredients, etc., etc. And we were going to talk about that, but we can leave that next week podcast. But absolutely brilliant. If you want a pizza place and you want to like show it to like a date or something, and be like, look how much of a legend I am, and know how with my London life, take them to Fatto, man. It's not even that expensive. Like, banging pizzas, like super fresh ingredients. Like, it is so good, and it's one of those like things. I found it for the first time years ago in Brighton, and then they've just opened one, like a proper one in London, and it's just as good, if not.
Well, let's go down this week and check it out.
It might be the best pizza place I've been to in the UK.
Perfect. I'll send them this clip and we'll go down.
Yeah, and then 50 Callo as well, but that's been around for ages in Trafalgar Square area.
There you go. There's your recommendations for the week. That's everything from It's Just Genetics.
Ollie, it's just genetics.
No, you're just genetics.
No, but really, like, the reason it's just genetics, mate.
It's just genetics.
That is not genetic. That's got some sort of key numbers in that will be fact that will turn you into Grimace from the Happy Meals.
Grimace.
Yeah, the incredible blob. Grimace on the wall. Is it whether you got the hamburger?
I've seen that.
Ronald McDonald.
I've seen plenty of grimaces on Instagram. Let's see some cut shot.
He's lost his head.
Just look at just for that. This will be a well clip out. Just looking at the camera.
Hold on.
Putting up just whatever you can.
Foliage.
Okay.
Foliage.